All right, guys, welcome back to the Compa Talk Podcast. We're on episode 4 today. We're on 4? Yeah,
Yes, sir.
so today we got a couple guests with us. Unfortunately, Matthias isn't able to be here with us today, as he is unmotivated to continue talking about the World Cup after Mexico's heartbreaking exit. But it's okay. He'll be back on future episodes when we talk about other things that are not the World Cup. But today, obviously I have Honda with me. Jordan's here with us as well. And we also got Gold Guns, which he is... Unfortunately, he's a little camera shy, so we had to get a still picture of him.
We gotta take a photo of me conquesting the entire world.
Wow. He's a bit camera shy, so yeah.
Funny.
So the last time that you guys we were on the podcast was we were talking about our predictions and how we saw this World Cup coming. I think it's safe to say for everyone else here, and I'm speaking for myself, but just in general, like, this World Cup tournament has been crazy, and I think it's been the craziest tournament that we've seen in recent time. Like, I don't think I've seen that many upsets in the first round like we did. Obviously Saudi Arabia beat Argentina 1-0, and then we had who else?
Japan beating the
Japan beating Spain and Germany.
And Korea going through too. That's another one.
Yeah, and then also Costa Rica beating Germany. Or not beating Germany, beating Japan. I didn't expect them to get a single point out of the group. But yeah, I mean, it's been an interesting tournament so far. Obviously there's been a lot of teams that are underperforming. I think we can name, just off the top of my head, Mexico and Belgium for that.
Morocco as well.
Morocco as well, yeah. As people
they're still in it. They're still going.
Yeah, that is true, and Morocco obviously did win today, in the first round of the knockouts. But yeah, I'll hand it over to Honda. Honda, you can take me away with a couple thoughts that you have for this first round.
Let me actually, before we get into our thoughts and stuff like that, the thought process, let's properly introduce J Vibes and Gold Guns, which are guests. Let them tell themselves a little bit about themselves. Hey, we'll take it off with Jordan.
All right, yo. So my name is J57. Y'all can call me Jordan, J, whatever, don't matter. Variety content creator, chilling. Used to be a FIFA streamer all day, but I like to play games that I like to enjoy. But it's an honor being here on the podcast. It's my first ever podcast doing this, so I got some insights that probably shock you guys, or or just be news that we already know. But I got some ideas of how this World Cup can go. But I'm excited.
All right, sounds good. And Gold Guns, you want to introduce yourself?
All right, Gold Guns the Viking. Every day I like to conquer countries. No, I'm joking. But yeah, I'm just a daily streamer. I play FIFA all the time. Enjoy sports. Enjoy talking about it. I've been on podcasts before, and I'm looking to have some fun talking about the World Cup. So,
all right,
have a fun time.
I want to ask you guys one thing before we actually move on as well. Jordan, what kind of got you into football? Because I as much as I've known you, I don't really know what got you into football. So what kind of got you into football?
So this is a funny story, actually. So the way I grew up, I never really enjoyed playing footy. Like, I saw my friends play footy, like my church friends and everything. So I was like, that seems pretty cool, but I don't know. So I tried basketball. I was pretty good at basketball. Didn't really like play for like a club team, you would say, more like a rec team in a way. And then what my dad tried to do, he tried to put a American football helmet on me and was like, "You want to play running back, as see how you like it?" He put the helmet on me. I said, "No, I don't want to." So I asked my friends, like my church friends, shout out to them, man. They got me playing footy, and I was like, let me just try it. I got some boots. I think this is funny. I'm a Ronaldo fan. But my first ever boots were Messi boots. Because I didn't know who Messi and Ronaldo was at the time before I started playing. But it was like, I'm just going to get anything because, they're not real. They're just like, the fake Messi boots. So I was like, let me just get them. So that happened. And, ever since then, I just kept playing. And eventually played for a club team. I was a top goal scorer for my club team. Second year for rec, I scored like 25 goals
Damn.
in one season. Averaged like 2 or 3 goals a game. And then eventually went into high school. I made all-star second team for my high school, and then senior year I got picked. I got a scholarship for a college. Played 1 year in college, made the team. And then after that, I was like, I would try to go pro, but I had the opportunity to do it, but the funds, for DC United Academy, it was just out of pocket for my parents, and I was like, man, I really wish I could play for DC United, so that would have been a great experience. But
You have the
things
facility
happen for a reason.
man.
Things do happen for a
Actually,
reason.
that's like the unfortunate thing, right? With like when it comes to like soccer in the U.S. or football,
It's just
however
too
you want to
expensive.
call it, it's just the pay to play model here is it's a little unfortunate because in other countries you could go out and you can perform and you can go to trials and you can get a spot on the team and you can earn it. Well, in here it's like you have to pay to get into these academies. On top of that, try to even try out to make the
Yeah.
teams. So it's like it's a whole
Yeah.
process of like it's a process that I think should possibly change in the U.S. because I don't think it's completely fair to like all. I feel like there's a lot of lost talent in between where the financial reasons and also like that model. Just I mean, it could be structured better in my opinion, but
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely do understand where you're coming from. That all right, Go Guns.
Yeah.
Can you give us
All right.
your insight as to how you got into football?
All right, a lot less dramatic. I do not have hopes of becoming a professional footballer ever. But how I just really got into the world, like soccer and football or whatever you want to call it in general, is 2014 World Cup is really when I first started watching it, and then I started supporting. I got into the FIFA game, supporting some FIFA creators. Watched a lot of Arsenal creators. That's why I became an Arsenal fan, and I know a lot of you like to clown me for it. I'm like the only one here. But yeah, basically I got into just watching the World Cup, started getting into FIFA, and been playing FIFA ever since like FIFA 14, FIFA 15 days, and just been solely following, getting involved in the community, meeting guys like you, and getting more in touch with the community. And that's basically how I've gotten into it. Not like, no like sad teary eye story of I couldn't afford to become a professional footballer like Jordan, but just me just being a nerd at home playing video games all day, and yeah, and that's how I got into football and footy.
Yeah, it's interesting. Nice. Thank you for letting us know that. Obviously, because
Yeah.
like I think when it comes to getting into football, it's like definitely a different reason as to why people are getting into the sport for everyone.
Mhm.
So that's also good. So now trying to cycle it back to the World Cup. You guys are both USA fans. So what do you guys think about the performance that the US had in this tournament? Obviously, they sadly got knocked out by the Netherlands. So was it 3-1? Right, 3-1.
3-1, yeah.
3-1 was the scoreline. Yeah, at the end of that game. So, you guys thoughts on the tournament so far? What you guys think of the national team? Jordan, I'll start with you.
So I would say so. It all started with the first game against Wales. Obviously, I mean, I think we completely dominated the first half, for sure. We look like a whole different team. Because I've never seen, at least for the time that I was watching USA, and I've been watching USA for the past, I guess, year since I've been playing. That was the best I've ever seen them play. Like as a young team, coming up together, it just looked very good. But they kind of just broke down second half against them, and that's why Wales, got a penalty at the end. It was just a stupid tackle. We could have won that game easily, but it just didn't go our way. And then, I mean, the game against England, that was surprising to me that we played that good against England and that actually we came out with the draw. So, I mean, we dominated probably most of the game in my opinion. That's just me. But I think we could have actually beat England, and that probably would have shocked the world. That would probably been another big upset that would have occurred in the World Cup. And then, of course, the game against Iran. Yeah, we totally. It was a back and forth game, but luckily we got that one goal to go through to put us, to the next round. And then against Netherlands, it's just it's the Dutch. We expected them to bring their A game and everything, but in the end, I think we just gotta fix. Probably get a new coach. I mean, he didn't do bad. We can't just blame it all on him. It's also the players too. But I think we do need to get a striker. And Reyna also got to see some minutes, man. I think Reyna really changed that game when he came in. And I'm looking forward to the next World Cup, and I think we can get pretty far past round of 16 as well. So
I think to touch on your point about like your striker situation, I mean, you kind of shoot yourself in the foot when one of your most informed strikers, you don't bring him to the tournament, and obviously,
exactly.
he's the one that got you to the tournament, but you don't bring him, and he's playing well, he's on form, and then you go into the game against Netherlands. It's not like you guys didn't have opportunities, you guys just didn't have anyone that could finish him. You guys had chances, you had solid chances. You just didn't have someone that could finish them. And unfortunately, like that's what came to bite you in the end. And Ricardo Pepi could have probably finished up a few of those chances. And who knows? We're talking now about how the U.S. Shocked and they beat the Netherlands. But obviously we're at the point where I think everyone, just not just me, and I feel like everyone else around this U.S. national team and everyone that just watches understands that Greg Berhalter can only get to a certain extent, because I feel like him, like managers like him, like Tata, they are so into like, let me get with the players I'm comfortable with,
Right.
and they don't really try to risk anything. So that's why I feel like both in their respective positions is why they had, and I'm not saying the U.S. had a bad tournament. I'm just saying like in general, I feel like the U.S. could have performed a lot better, given that they could have managed a couple games a little bit differently and done a couple things. Now I feel like the potential future for the U.S. men's national team when it comes down to the 2026 World Cup, that can completely change, because obviously you guys have a really young team. There's a lot to look forward to. I feel like if you get the right guy in place, and you do your next 4 years, the next cycle. I mean, obviously we don't have qualifiers, but in this next cycle, if you completely do it correctly, you guys will have something else to show for in 2026. That's just the way that I see it. I don't know, Honda, if you have any other thoughts on this U.S. National team.
On a much better track than our national team, right? Because, for example, U17, like we were talking about offline, how where do these players go? The U.S. national team, right, they have players going into Europe, and it doesn't matter for what price, right? They could go on a free, they could go for millions of dollars, right? They're sending them out there. Mexico national team, nothing. That's why the U.S. probably have a better future. And Gold Guns, if you want to give your thoughts of the U.S. right now, go ahead.
From a U.S. point of view, someone who's watched all the games, like it was like very 50-50. It's a lot to look forward to because they're again one of the youngest teams of the World Cup. I think if they might have been the youngest, and their whole starting 11 basically will be in their prime or approaching their prime by the next World Cup. So it's a lot to look forward to, and you saw a lot of the potential from every single one of their games. You saw like the amount of talent they had, but on the other hand, you saw also get held back. Going back on the point of Greg Berhalter, I think we saw that limit from him going into a game with Netherlands, how far they can take this U.S. team, because they played the whole 90 minutes basically to the strengths of the Netherlands. They played the way the Netherlands wanted them to. And then that last 45th minute goal is just a perfect example of why I don't think the U.S. is going to get much with this talent with him at the helm, is because 1-0 up, have all the momentum, getting the chances, have Netherlands in the back foot, decide to keep pushing while tired, and then turn the ball over and concede another goal in the last kick of the half. And it's bittersweet. It was a good tournament. We played better than previous years. It's nice to see us back in the World Cup, and we got a lot to look forward to. But at the same time, it's worrisome because we saw kind of the limits of where this team can get. You don't know what you're going to see out of the U.S. team in the next 4 years, whether or not they'll actually take advantage of all this talent, or they're going to do another tournament where Gio Reyna gets like 10 minutes on the bench. We don't bring our best striker to the tournament. We don't play the right strategies against certain teams, and then we fall apart. So
yeah,
it's hard. It's hard. It's very like 50-50, but it's got to hope and pray the U.S. actually takes the advantage of the opportunities we have in front of us and turn the right corner, because we could easily go the wrong way for the next 4 years.
And I feel like also like Miles Robinson not being there, also kind of like, I mean, he is a big part of that national team. His injury early on in the year, with Atlanta United really affected the team more than I feel like anyone else is actually realizing, because I feel like I know Zimmerman is one of the best defenders in MLS. Obviously, he's got that pedigree in him that he's been able to perform well at club level with Nashville and stuff like that. But I feel like the whole tournament, I don't know if it was just me, just watching him after he committed that mistake against Wales, giving up a penalty. In that moment, every single little thing he did after, he was trying to be cautious not to mess up again. And I feel like as a player, when you're going into the World Cup or any sort of game, and your concern is to not continue to mess up, you will continue to do other things and continue to make mistakes that you normally wouldn't make, because your whole concentration point is, let me not mess up. Let me not, like, I'm just trying, like, let me play it safe. And there was a couple passes where when they were playing in the back, where they look kind of shaky. And I think that having like a Miles Robinson, like even if he was on the bench, like having him be able to take over a game and sit Zimmerman down and just be like, hey, like, like just have that experience where he can like calm down and relax and just like sit out a game so he can kind of get himself right. Like that also independently helps the team as a whole. But I feel like this experience with him having that now, I feel like in looking into the future and into the next World Cup, he will come better prepared, and he will obviously support and add like a better help to the U.S. men's national team back line.
I think out of all the positions, this two center backs I think was definitely the biggest like worry point, because I feel like out of all the teams we played, yes, we only conceded like one goal from open play until that Netherlands game, but a lot of chances that were like very like low expected goals, or chances that we would have but other teams would deal with easily, just looked very very like dangerous against us. So I feel like, other than striker obviously, but we left our best striker home, so it's like it's hard to complain about about the striker situation. But I feel like the center back position was like the biggest worry point out of like, I feel like the whole starting 11 is great for the next World Cup, but I think center back is a lot of question marks going in for the next 4 years, how we develop and stuff like that, because I definitely felt like the position that needed the most help in this U.S. team throughout the World Cup was the center back position.
All right, Honda, you have any final thoughts on the national team? Or
I mean, here's the thing when it comes to the center back roles and stuff like that. Zimmerman, I completely agree with you. Like, he was looking shaky this World Cup. He did not look very well. But on the other hand, Tim Ream, right? He's the more experienced player. You got to bring in that experience with you, even though it's not in a World Cup necessarily, right? But as a 32-year-old, you got to tell your other center back, hey, calm down, relax, just focus on your game, do what we came here to do, which is to defend and not concede any goals. Right? Just continue, move on. Lucky versus Netherlands, Dumfries pretty much dunked on you guys, but it is end of the day. Next World Cup.
and I want to quickly touch on, now that we're talking on this group, I want to touch on England. I think a lot of I'm kind of laughing because I feel like a lot of English fans overreacted, and a lot of people can judge me, you can criticize me all you want, but in my opinion, I feel like after that one game against Iran, everyone was freaking out. You guys saw Twitter, everyone was like, "Oh, it's coming home, it's coming home." And like, I'm not saying that it's bad to be optimistic, it's not, but you also got to look at the opponent that you guys played. Now, you struggled against a U.S. men's national team that basically all the players that came into this tournament have no World Cup experience. They have no big tournament experience. A lot of the English players, some of them played the 2018 World Cup. They also played in the Euros. They got to the finals. Like, their team has been more mentally established to have these performances in big stages, where I feel like they haven't underperformed, but I feel like they could perform a lot better. And having those games against the Wales, against the US, where you draw these games, it's like, yeah, you made it out, you topped the group, but like the whole way that you got to even drawing those games, like, you got lucky to get a draw against the US, in my opinion. Like, you're not. I just don't feel like they've been looking as strong as they possibly could. Could that be part of the fault of Gareth Southgate? It could be. And I think a lot of English fans are calling for his head, and rightfully so, because I feel like he's had enough time to show why he should be the person in charge. And I know he got him to the finals in the Euros, but losing against Italy, I mean, like, Italy was playing well in that tournament, but you also got to realize you're at home. You lost a final at home. So if there was at any point where you had the opportunity to win a major tournament, you had it at home and you lost it. So I just don't see where you have that continued loyalty to this manager. I don't really see it. I don't know how you guys
All I'm
feel
gonna
about
say,
that.
like with the whole Gareth Southgate, the England US game, Harry Maguire was man of the match for me, and I think that's just a big sign that there's a problem going on with when Harry Maguire is your best player in a game, like the reason why you're winning a game or staying alive or top in a group. There's definitely issues. I would say there's definitely something that's not clicking with that team. So,
Yeah, I get it. It makes sense, right? The center back being your man of the match, like that shouldn't happen ever.
not just any center back, but like Harry Maguire.
No, but there's a difference between Harry Maguire at Manchester United and Harry Maguire at England. England national level, right? He's not the same bozo that he is at. We've seen it game for game. Like, why don't you do this at United? United fans, they're asking for this Maguire. If this Maguire were to perform at United day in, day out, there would be no reason Sandro Martinez. But at the end of the day, as well too, you can't have your defenders being your man of the matches, right? You can't have your goalkeeper being man of the match. You gotta have your forwards, your Harry Kanes, Saka, Rashford, anybody up there, right? This England national team, right? They'll have to prove themselves against a France who is coming in hella strong, right? Trying to prove themselves, trying to get that second title back to back.
And if I'm honest, I just don't think that Senegal gave him much of a running, because obviously you're missing Mane. I mean, you're not like I'm not trying to say Senegal's a bad team, but you're not facing the strongest Senegal you could possibly face. Like I don't know how you expect to have the expectation of becoming a contender in this World Cup, trying to get to the final and win the whole thing when you see a Brazil playing fantastic. I mean, you saw it yesterday. Brazil was playing crazy. Like the way that they moved that ball around, the way that I think the spirit they were on that team. I think Brazil is probably one of the strongest teams in this whole tournament so far. So you see that, and I just don't understand where people are getting this misconception that England's about to win the whole thing. Like I just don't. I don't know, Jordan. Like I don't know how you feel about this, but like, I mean, I just don't see it. I don't know.
Hey, they got some hard opponents like to think about. Like Honda said, like they're going against France next. They're going against this strong France team that is literally built to win. Like they're the favorites to win this World Cup for how they're playing. But also, you can't even sleep on Brazil either because, like how you said, John, like the way they played yesterday, man. I like honestly, a lot of people were just joking on Vinny, like not having a good World Cup, but him yesterday just proves the fact that he has that dog in him, man. Like people don't respect Vinny, and it's crazy because like I know I'm a Madrid fan and everything, and like I'm gonna like just not suck Vinny off, but just literally just like respect him. Like he is that guy. Like yes, he's young, he's still on the come up, and he's still got a lot of improvement, but the man is showing what he can do. And yesterday he kind of showed that. Like the man was playing at his greatest.
It's crazy how like Brazil, they have Vinny Neymar. If they have a bad game, you just replace him with like 7 other wingers that will get into the first team of the other team they're playing.
That's true.
Right. Long shot.
They have a bench.
On that Vinny, like touching on that Vinny point, like I think Vinny's composure in that during the finish, like his composure to even like settle and have that like that have the knowledge that all these defenders are gonna drag. So just put the ball wherever the gap is, and he just had the composure to wait for that gap, and he obviously found that goal. Obviously, like everyone, like I saw a couple pundits talking about, oh, like it's disrespectful for the Brazilians to keep that. Let them dance, like let them dance, like
bro, it's the World Cup.
Yeah, like let them dance. Like I think we've all like I think even like the Atletico Madrid fans were also like, oh, there I forget, was it Koke? I think it was Koke, the one that was talking like mad shit about Vinny dancing. It doesn't matter what Vinny and Rodrigo do, man. This is like the Brazilian spirit as a whole. They're having fun and they're enjoying their football that they're playing. Like there's nothing wrong with that. And I feel like a lot of people are saying, "No, it's disrespectful." But I mean, if you're over here, the Brazil was having a party yesterday. I don't like. There's no other way to describe that. They were having a party. Like the amount of goals they could have scored more too. And I feel like they let off a little bit because they knew like this game's practically done. Like what else is there to do? Their opponent wasn't giving them much. Like I don't fault him for having that. And I think even like, dude, Richarlison, man, like even him, like the way that he's been playing in this tournament, I have never seen Richarlison play this well for Tottenham at all. Like, or even Everton. Like, this Richarlison is a different gravy. Like, I don't know how you guys seen that, man.
I was mad as an Arsenal fan seeing Gabriel Jesus get benched over him, but then you see Richarlison the way he's playing, you just can't complain. Like, he's been insane,
dude. That
much
goal
better
that
than what they had in 2014, like whatever that Fred Donny they had up top.
No, but like his goal, his like scissors / bicycle. I don't know what you guys want to label it, but
Bro,
that goal was insane. Like,
oh man,
Bias wants me to hold off calling a goal of the tournament because we'll touch. I want to touch on Mexico, and I'll leave that on the side for a little bit. But yeah, like one of the best goals of this tournament that we've seen, and I feel like just the way he's playing, like, it's just insane. Like, I think France definitely has like a reason to like have an argument as to why they're still contenders and they're still a strong team. And I feel like France on their side of the group, they will get to the final. I feel like I mean nothing's guaranteed because I mean we just fucking saw we saw Spain get knocked out, but like nothing's guaranteed. But like you would assume that the way that the French national team's been playing, they've been playing really really well. Like so there are teams that I feel like they're in that contention and they're in their own group of being like, okay, these are like the World Cup contenders, and then there's like I feel like there's World Cup contenders and then World Cup pretenders. You know what I mean? Like I feel like England's part of that right now. Argentina's part of that right now, and I'll touch on Argentina in a second.
Netherlands as well too.
Netherlands as well. Like they're just I just don't feel like they have enough, and as a cohesive unit, they haven't been playing well. So, Honda, I don't know if you wanted to touch a couple last thoughts on Brazil. I know you wanted to speak.
Dude, Brazil. You guys see Tite celebrating like Richarlison as well with his little
pigeon dance.
Bro, they had
R9 at it.
They had R9 doing that shit in the locker room. Yeah. The manager was doing it too. That's
crazy.
I just see my timeline, right? Because I have a Brazilian friend, and all I just see is her spamming.
Yeah.
Spamming, celebrating. You know what? They deserve it. Brazil wins this tournament. They deserve it. End of the day. There's a France as well too. There's other teams as well. So you just gotta see. Prizes could happen.
I want to touch on like as I was talking about World Cup pretenders. I want to talk about Argentina real quick. They lost to Saudi Arabia, and I think after the first day, like I obviously didn't wake up to watch the game because I was like, there's no point in watching this Saudi Arabia match. Argentina's got this in the bag. I don't have to worry. Like I'm just gonna fall asleep. I wake up, my whole phone is going nuts. Like I look at my phone, and I woke up maybe like 30 minutes after the match ended. So I look at my phone blowing up. Like I see a bunch of notifications like, "Oh my god, what just happened?" I'm like, yo, what the? I go look at the score. And I see Argentina lost, and I'm like, how? How?
Am I looking at this right?
Like, hey, I don't think they lost 2-1 to Saudi Arabia. What happened?
Australia, dude. Like at the end of that game, Australia had a lot of chances to tie that game.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
But like
it was that mistake from Ryan gave him the 2-goal cushion. Like imagine they did make that mistake and
they could if that ball rolls in the 90th minute, dude. We're talking about a completely different story. Maybe Argentina get knocked out. Like
they've had their moments.
I feel like the way that Argentina's played, and I guess you could say that their most, I guess they were dominant against Saudi Arabia, but it wasn't enough. And then they played against a Mexico team that let them. I mean, so I'll touch on this, but we sat back to defend, and when you sit back to defend, there's nothing to play for there. You're waiting to get killed, and you're just waiting for it to happen. But they played against Poland. They played well. They let off the gas at the end. But I just don't see where this Argentina side has proven and shown to everyone that they're one of the best teams in this tournament. When you got Brazil, when you got France playing like the way that they are, I just don't see them like at all. Like the Argentina that we saw beat Brazil in the Copa America, like I don't see that sense of spirit here. And there's gonna be people that disagree with me, but like I just don't think Argentina have enough, and they've struggled against smaller sides. I don't know what to expect when they face someone like Brazil. Even Netherlands, for that matter. Like
I think they can definitely bring out the passion against Brazil. I feel like a South American derby like that, you'll see them bring out their full energy. But I think what worries me is the games against non-Brazil opponent. I think this Netherlands game is a very big trap game for them. But the way the Netherlands play, you can definitely see Argentina falling off because they will play like Australia did at times, but they have the quality to definitely punish them for their mistakes, as they did against the U.S. So I think the Netherlands is a big trap opponent for Argentina for this next round coming up, and it's definitely someone they got to worry about.
Yeah,
And mistake me if I'm wrong, isn't Netherlands still undefeated in the past, like, what, 16 games or something like that in the World Cup or some shit like that?
no, I think they haven't lost a game. They were another one of those teams that hadn't lost a game while coming into this
It was
tournament.
one of those teams that they haven't lost. And I'm like,
Last time they
I don't
lost,
think they're going to lose to Argentina. I just don't see it.
They both had undefeated streaks going in. Argentina lost theirs the first game, and I don't think
Saturday was
first
like, I'll just
game,
end this
yeah.
unbeaten streak and dip, and then
I mean, they won that game. They partied the way through the tournament, and then like, we'll dip out. But
Yeah, for real.
I don't think Netherlands have lost a game to my knowledge. I don't think they have.
I don't think they have.
But like they obviously Netherlands, I feel like they have some weaknesses, but I don't know if Argentina has enough to exploit those weaknesses at the moment. Because I know I mean Julian Alvarez is obviously playing really really well. I mean, he's one of those players where he went to City for basically nothing, and I'm kind of upset because I know United were linked to him at the time. But he went to City for basically nothing. Now he's showing West of why he's playing at Man City in that form, and the reason why he's actually there, it's showing now. And he's obviously he's obviously Argentina's probably brightest future as of now. But I just don't know where Argentina moves past this generation. Obviously, they have Enzo Fernandez, who's been balling out, and we saw it in the Champions League too with Benfica. He's been playing really well against PSG, and at club level, he's been doing really well. And I know Madrid's scouting him right now. They're looking into that. So
don't Madrid
nice.
have enough like 21-year-old like generational talent midfielders?
yeah,
Honestly, yeah.
I
But
mean,
it's honestly for the bench, if I'm being honest, because once Tony Cruz, Modric, and all them leave, it's definitely going to be Chouameni, Camavinga, Valverde, and then we're not going to have a bench. So I think we are building that bench up as well as far and starters because they can honestly have that rotation, which I think Ancelotti's trying to do. So
and I think
I
that
mean,
like
it'll be come up.
he's one of those players where I feel like he's gonna come up, and I feel like a big team's gonna sign him. Like there's been a lot of these younger players like Gakpo. You know, Gakpo has always been he's been linked to United in the summer, and I think now he's getting linked to even like Real Madrid. He's getting linked to Bayern. He's getting linked to all these big teams. So like these younger players in this tournament, like the ones that were like previously linked before that we knew that had some sort of potential, they're showing at this point, you know, that they are going to be, or they're looking to be something, you know, something great. So that's also good to see. But like going back to Argentina point, I don't really see that side really getting anything out of this. And I know Messi's been that little spark plug, and every once in a while he's picked up the ball, he's dropped back, picked up the ball against Mexico, and just popped a shot. And obviously that unfortunately there was no one covering him there, but like having that and having that spark in Messi, or you know that you have that kind of built-in safety net of having him there, and he's going to take the ball, he's going to take the team on his back. That helps, but I just don't know if that's going to be ultimately enough to overcome a team like Brazil, like the Netherlands. Like we're going to have to see what they can bring onto this, because there is a lot of question marks in that Argentina team. I don't know if anyone else also agrees with that, or if you disagree with that, but Honda, you can take it away.
I'm gonna go back to Netherlands real quick because the last time they lost was 27th of June, 20, or for the Euro 2020 and 2021 versus Czech Republic 2-0. That far back.
That's crazy.
That far back. That's when
I haven't lost in a year and a half, pretty much.
That's crazy.
The Argentina squad has a lot of lackluster. Emi Martinez, he's not in form, right? Although nobody has been attacking him really much this tournament. Versus Netherlands. Cody Gakpo, Memphis Depay, they're on the counter attack where they're sprinting down the field. They get an opportunity, they're gonna score down Emi Martinez, and then you got your back line, right? It hasn't been really doing well. Romero has been doing a lot of fuck ups. Otamendi as well too, right? Acuna has been a little bit shaky, to be honest with you, and then you're right back as well too. So they gotta work on the defensive line. As for going forward, right? I liked what they did for the last game against Australia, but to not lose the lackluster of it, right? But Argentina, needs to fix themselves before this next game. If not, Netherlands is gonna run a riot on them on the counterattack.
Yeah, and I
And
feel like
honestly, another like another surprising player that is like caught my attention, and I make fun of this dude all the time. He's an old Man United player. Daily freaking blend, bro. Daily freaking blend. Yo, like if I'm being honest, I've been watching this dude play. I'm like, what like I didn't know he was a left wing back. First of all, like first, I thought he was just a straight like center mid or DM or whatever. But my man's playing left wing back and actually kind of balling out low key. Like
I think
he,
he's one of those players that have aged well. Like coming up, like even like
He's
he
fine
left
wine out
United,
there.
he's growing. He's
He is
he's
fine wine.
playing better than what he did at United. I feel like he's having that kind of career renaissance that a lot of people or some players have towards the back end of their careers where they're just playing this well. And yeah, to your point, he's been playing really
yeah,
well.
and I feel like
Position, that's the thing as well too.
yeah, I just feel like honestly like what the US were trying to do, they were trying to abuse that side because Des was honestly cooking him. So I don't think Argentina has that blazing fast person on the right side that can really like and also has skill as well. I don't think they have that blazing fast person that can honestly get past Daily Blend because he's gonna just cut the angle off every time. But the only way I think you can beat him is honestly by skill and speed. And I don't think Argentina don't really have that on the right side. I mean, Di Maria, he's not really fast. He's just very technical.
And
Messi sometimes goes on that side, but I don't think he's really. I mean, he's not really fast either, but he's just really technical and knows how to cut through everybody. But I just think like if you just put a body on these little players that Argentina has, it's GG's. Like Van Dijk is gonna have a freaking fun time just biting off every little Argentinian that come through his way.
And I think
So
set pieces is going to be one of those big things because I know they have obviously
Yeah, freaking the Giants of Netherlands versus Argentina. Lisandro Martinez.
Yeah, that's the point that I was about to get to. Everyone criticizes my boy Lisandro Martinez, but he I mean, hey man, he's playing well for United. I think into this tournament, I think he's been playing well. He hasn't been really one of their downfalls, but I feel like he could also bring something else. And so like he is short though. So let's not take that under any let's take that into consideration and also realize that these set pieces that Netherlands have are going to become very crucial when it comes to
I think
that game.
It's a very different situation when it comes to the United. Lisandro Martinez is protected by guys like Casemiro, Varane,
Yeah.
other people that can head the ball better. Where Argentina, like, it's a lot. There's a lot of people that can get exposed by the Netherlands set pieces. It's not just Lisandro Martinez. There's a lot of people in this team that probably don't have the jumping and height capability. You got Romero, got Otamendi, but still, there's a lot less protection in Argentina.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I don't feel like that's going to be one of the things that is going to be really crucial when it comes to that game. So now
it's kind of hard to jump over Van Dijk.
Yeah, I mean Van Dijk is pretty tall, and he is one of the best defenders in the world.
Then you got Wout Weghorst to late game if you need
him. Yeah, it's true. But talking about this group, also, Honda. Let's talk about the Mexican national team. It's painful to talk about because I think it's something that we talked about in previous podcasts.
I mean, we lost a podcast member because of it.
But like we were talking about it in the podcast in previous episodes. We talked about how the uncertainty of how poorly we've been playing before, and I'm gonna tell you that first game gave me a lot of hope. Now, should we have done more? Should we have gotten a goal against Poland? Yes, that was ultimately our downfall, and that's the reason why we're not in the tournament, or we weren't even in the next round. We didn't qualify. That is a big reason now. But I also fault the performance against Argentina because you follow up that good performance that you had against Poland. Yeah, you did enough to get a point. That's fine. But you did enough to get a point, and then you go against Argentina and you sit back to defend and you play for nothing. Absolutely nothing. You're not looking to get anything. You're looking for damage control, and you're looking to, okay, we know we're gonna lose. Let's just not lose by too much, and we'll be okay. There has never been I can only remember one time where Tata played a 5 back, but he wasn't even using two natural strikers. He was using two wingers at strikers, which I know Vega has played striker before, and that is a position where he is shown to be comfortable with. But he is not a striker. Like, you're booting up the ball to a bunch of wingers, and Chuky's your hold-up striker. How are you gonna have Chuky as your hold-up striker? You have no one else to outlet the ball to. Like, when Guardado got hurt, that is the point where you're like, okay, let me change the team systematically. But no, you bring on who do you bring on correct me if I'm wrong. Was it Charlie or who did you bring on?
I forgot. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter who the fuck he brought on, but he brings in another center midfielder to cover that spot. Oh no. He brought Guti. He brought on Guti. He brings on Guti. And this is what leads to Argentina's goal. He brings on Guti. No one's covering the middle. You leave out Edson Alvarez, your best center defensive midfielder. You leave him out. Your whole defensive structure in the midfield, you have nothing. You're left with Hector Herrera and Eric Gutierrez to try to defend that middle of the park, and no one's defending him. Messi gets open. Literally, you're gifting him that goal. That goal that he scored was a gift. Other than that, I mean, you can't really complain. That second goal was actual really good goal. It was a screamer. But
that second goal was because Néstor Araujo wasn't in his position, which apparently it was a right back, even though he's the worst freaking defender for Mexico national team during that time, and he put him right back.
Like, you take out Kevin Alvarez, who is a right back, to leave a center back at right back. Like, it doesn't make any sense, like, whatsoever. Like, I don't understand that. Then you go against the Saudi Arabia team, and I know everyone heading into that Saudi Arabia game, we were all like, yeah, we're probably gonna win, but you're hoping for a miracle to happen here. And halfway through the miracle, like, we went into halftime knowing that we just needed a couple goals. Argentina had, I think, at that point already scored 2. Like, we needed to score a couple goals. Well, second half starts. The first one falls in. All right, maybe there's a chance. You start hoping that Argentina score another one. I start looking at the other games. I'm over here on my other phone looking at the Poland game. Boom! That massive thunder strike of a free kick by Luis Chavez. Fucking screamer from 30 yards out. Bangs it, top corner. Beautiful goal. You're thinking to yourself, okay, there's hope here. Like, I think everyone at that moment when that goal went in, everyone's like, okay, let's keep pushing forward. And we got opportunities. You decide to sub out Henry Martin. I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought because I'm still upset about this. You bring out Henry Martin to bring in Raúl Jiménez, who hasn't been playing well, but Henry Martin, at the moment when he got subbed out, he was just about starting to turn up. Like, and you take him out, and you bring on out of form Raúl Jiménez, who has not shown much, and unfortunately because of his injury, it's not really his fault. And I know he personally wants to give more. He just doesn't have that in him, and unfortunately we're just not going to see that anymore. But you bring him on, you take off Orbelin to bring in Charlie Rodriguez, who hasn't done anything for Cruz Azul in the past year and a half. You take on Orbelin, who had been creating chances from that midfield position. He had been one of the people that have been outletting the pass to the wingers back into the middle. He was creating a lot of opportunities for us in that game. Takes him out, and then he brings him in Rogelio Funes Mori in like the last, like, not even like 5-10 minutes of the game. Your insistence of bringing Funes Mori to the whole tournament to only play him 10 minutes. I'm sorry. Like, you had an informed striker, top goal scorer of the Europa League off the bench that you could have brought to this tournament. You don't bring him. You bring on Rogelio Funes Mori, who hasn't done anything for Monterrey. Did nothing. You bring him on just to bring him for 10 minutes to play for 10 minutes. When he could have given you a game. You bring him on the bench, he could have given you a goal against Poland. Could have given you another goal against Saudi Arabia. You shot yourself in the foot with these substitutions. And then you have the audacity to go to the press conference and say, oh yeah, I take full responsibility for this. Who else are we going to blame? I'm sorry. Who else are we going to blame? I'm not going to blame the players. The players played their hearts out there. Who else is there to blame? I'm sorry. Like, why do you, and then I know ESPN did this thing where they were with the national team and they had everyone write a letter to themselves for after the World Cup. He writes in his letter, you could have done more. So then, if you write that prior to the World Cup, what were you going into the World Cup with? What mentality were you going in? If that's what you wrote was you could have done something more. I just don't understand that. And Honda, I know that I'm not the only one that feels like this, but like, I don't know. Give me your thoughts on how we saw this this national team play out this tournament.
Here's my thoughts, right? Tata Martino, he has a box in the next game for Argentina. He's gonna be sitting right there with previous players as well too. He's gonna be sitting right there. He's gonna be watching Argentina because he's not on that flight home. If he were serious about the Mexico national squad, he would have been the first one to get his plane ticket. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of there, Qatar. But no, he decides no. Berlin Pineda, I understand that substitution, but you got to bring on somebody else, somebody offensive. You got to show like you're in here to win this game. And even after that Aldasari goal at the end, right? All we needed was one goal.
More. I don't think the players realized that.
3-1. Poland only 0, right? Versus Saudi Arabia. And unfortunately, we didn't get the last goal. Yeah.
And I go back to that opportunity where Antuna side foots the ball instead of letting it run onto him against the striker. Like, the defender's going to collapse on you. They're going to try to slide to cover the shot. So what do? You just let the ball roll to you. And when you let it roll to you, you just open up, right foot, open goal. But because the pressure got to him, he decides to try to Trivela it, which isn't his strong suit. Tries to Trivela it, the defender blocks it, you get nothing out of it. I don't even care. If you wanted to take it first time, take it first time. But don't try to Trivela it with your right foot. Hit it with your left. You hit it right away. You strike it in and it's a goal. Like, we had opportunities in that game to close it out. We just didn't have the right personnel. And this is what I mean. Like, everyone's talking about what is the proper structure to fix this national team. It starts from the top. It starts from the top because as we talked about, in different conversations, like we've had success at the national level, at the youth level, with two World Cups at the U17 level. How do we win World Cups at the U17 level, but we can't manage to fucking get past the first game of the second round? How do we not get past, like, what? There's something systematically wrong with our football that we're not getting past. We can do well we can perform well at youth levels, as we did the gold. We got the gold in 2012. We got the bronze medal in this last Olympics. Like, we're able to perform well at the young level. What is going on at top? Like, why are we not performing when we should? Like, there's a systematic problem with the way that we're taking care of our football, and that falls back on the federation and everything that they're doing. But like, they're just not doing enough. And I don't know, you guys as like U.S. fans, I don't know how you guys see us, because obviously I'm looking at it from a perspective of a Mexico fan. But I don't know, Jordan, if you see it, like, how you see it from your perspective.
So, I mean, the way I saw it, I mean, your manager was definitely the problem. He played very defensive against Argentina, which made no sense at all. Like, that was a very important game, because you usually don't want to take it to the last game where it's like how the U.S. was, like, we had to win that game to go to the next round. Like, you always don't want to do that unless, like, you're going to, like, just, I guess drawing is just, unfair, and, it just didn't go your way. But that game against Argentina, definitely had a chance if you were to play the same way you played against Saudi Arabia. It's so weird, like, how y'all played, the way y'all played against Saudi Arabia. Like, y'all had, like, there was just passion in that whole team. Like, y'all were just dominating them. And then if you look at the game against Argentina, it's like, the hell happened to the Mexico team? Like, what were you guys trying to do? Just sit back and just let them attack and be like, all right, well, we'll just let Argentina blow out Poland next game, and then we'll just blow out Saudi Arabia. No, that's not how. It's not how you want to do it. You always at least try to get the tie. At least if you know that you're going to be outplayed by, I mean, I wouldn't even say this Argentina team is strong, but a decent team, I would say. I'm like, yo, just at least settle for a tie, or at least like take the lead, and then you maybe want to play defense a little bit. But still, you always want to go out there and try to either get a W or a draw because the way the table was looking, Poland was ahead of you guys, and you're like, all right, yeah, we got some work to do. So honestly, in my opinion, my perspective of seeing it, I think the Mexico team definitely could have played better. Um, at least like two of those games. I mean, the game against Poland, y'all easily could have won that game, but I don't know what happened. It was just like 50-50.
It's just lack of
But
finishing, lack of ability to put the ball in the
yeah,
net.
but I don't know. I felt like I thought I even had you guys getting second over Poland. I know I wasn't on the podcast when you guys did your predictions, but I had you guys, Argentina first, Mexico second, Poland third, and Saudi Arabia last. I didn't think Poland was going to get through, but Poland just luckily got just scraped through. Lewandowski not showing up to the World Cup, like he only got what, one goal, two goals.
He got two goals.
He
One
just
was a
didn't.
penalty. Yeah.
Yeah, he just didn't look good. So he wasn't bringing his A game. I don't know what it is. I don't know. He got too much, confidence that he got picked up by Barca. And he's the top goal scorer in La Liga right now. I don't know what it is, but I don't know, man. I mean, I love the guy. Like I don't shut him down for anything. He deserved a Ballon d'Or one year, even with Messi, probably two. Even when Messi said he surprised that he won it and when that
The one he
Lewandowski should
lost to
have won it,
Messi and
but
the one that got canceled.
yeah,
He deserved
exactly.
those.
So I mean, they just did. Poland just did not look good. It just looked horrible. So I actually had you guys going through, and I mean, of course, you guys probably would have got knocked out by whoever Poland played.
France. It's France.
France, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but at least making it to the round of 16 gives that boost of confidence. Like, all right, this team can actually do something, and make it far in the next World Cup.
And I think like confidence wise, like it didn't help that you lost that game to Argentina. Like, yeah, maybe they were hoping for a 1-0 loss, but you lose two, and I think the whole atmosphere around the camp was just like it was down, and there was reports on it too. Like the whole, I think not even only like us as fans, but like I think just even the players themselves, they had like they knew that it was you're basically hoping for the impossible to happen. And when you get I think what hurts most is that we all knew we didn't have much expectations going into the game because we already knew we were practically out. But then being so close, but yet still being so far, like
Right.
that hurts the most. Like it wasn't the fact that we got knocked out. I think more was that like we know we left a lot on the table that we could have taken advantage of. We just didn't. And Golguns, I don't know how you see this the Mexico team, but like from my perspective, I don't know where you move on from here.
Yeah, you can't really put it much better than the way you said it. And like took all the words I was gonna say basically. So
But like in my opinion, like I'm hopeful that this is the beginning of how we begin to change the structure of how football in Mexico is being dealt with. Because right now, if you I don't know if you guys are aware, but the way that the federation's kind of set up is it's run by two television companies. Like two television companies basically run and operate the men's national team, which shouldn't happen in any case. Like they're picking managers, whoever best suits them because of relationships and all this other stuff. Like they're doing stuff to in their own benefit, which like doesn't benefit at all the national team. So I'm hoping that this is a start to realizing that we need a change, and that this is a change that has been needed to happen for a long, long time. That we just haven't had the opportunity in the right like situation to be like, okay, now you need to open your eyes, and I feel like this is the exact time where now we need to open our eyes. Now we need to fix like the way that we structurally do things for us to continue to do better, looking on forward into 2026 for the World Cup that we're going to host. So, Honda, it seems like you want to say something.
I want to know the worst part about the Argentina game, even beforehand. Argentina were going in
Knowing that if they lost it,
legitimate fear, right, of Mexico. I'm like, instead of playing to their fear, going offensive, I would have loved to see a 3-4-3, even though like in the back, okay, it's kind of shaky. Attack them. They were weak in the defense. We've seen Argentina; they're weak in the defense as well too. Even in this World Cup, right, we're seeing it getting exposed. The defense versus Saudi Arabia on the counterattacks, right? Shoot one in. Emi Martinez. But yeah, That's all I gotta say for that.
All right. Now I want to get to the part of the segment of the podcast where we're ranking these teams. So I know we've talked a little bit about these teams and where they are and how they've been performing recently. So I just want to go ahead and rank them. So I set this up to where we have World Cup failure, performed to expectations, good showing, performed above expectations, and then we have the winners. So I guess we could start with Argentina, since we'll just start from the first team and we'll move on. So we'll start off with Argentina. Where do you guys think they're ranked? I think, in my personal opinion, they've had a good showing, but they're not good enough to be in the winners category, nor performed above expectations. I have not seen them.
I would say good showing is perfect for them.
Yeah, I think good
agree.
showing. Yeah,
I agree.
You with that, Honda?
What are the categories again, John?
World Cup failure, performed to expectation, good showing, performed above expectations, and then World Cup winners. So I got Argentina in good showing.
A little bit low just because of the Saudi Arabia game, but I'll go along with you guys.
Australia, I feel like they performed above expectations.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, very above expectations.
Because just the fact that again,
around 16 just alone.
they got out of the tough group. They also gave Argentina a very good scare. I mean, they obviously could have easily got back into that game if not done better. So there's that. Oh,
We lose Honda.
We lose Honda.
Don't tell me his PC crashed.
Damn, this PC might have crashed. Anyway, we'll continue.
His joint overheated.
I'm still here.
Oh, you're still here?
Okay.
That tab just closed. For some reason.
Oh. We're having trouble connecting. You're returning to guest queue in 9 seconds. Okay, so we'll wait for him to come back. But he's still here and you can hear him. All right, we'll go with Belgium. All right, Belgium.
Failure.
They're a definite failure.
Failure.
You never say that you're not gonna win the World Cup. You always gotta believe.
Look, and KDB was being honest. I don't think he was being dishonest, and I don't think he meant it in any other way than how it was.
I don't care. If you're gonna go into a World Cup, you gotta believe in yourselves as well too, especially with the team of Belgium, right? Even though they showed their lackluster, right? This World Cup, it's their golden generation. You gotta believe.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't disagree with KDB saying that they're too old, and I feel like their best window would have been the 2018 World Cup to win it. But I think the atmosphere and just the way around that camp, I don't know. Like there was something off about them this year that they just
Lukaku was all form.
Yeah, Lukaku. How many chances did he miss in that one game?
Way too many. Like Man United Lukaku at that point.
He was not playing well.
No,
so
it was Chelsea Lukaku, bro. That's Chelsea Lukaku.
They're definitely.
Man United Lukaku actually had some threat to score some goals in them.
Yeah, this one. But
he also had some bad chances.
I think we can all agree Brazil winners in the winners category for sure. They had 3
teams in that squad that can win the World Cup, bro.
Yeah, dude, their B team.
All their players played in this World Cup.
Yeah, they subbed in a goalkeeper for fun in the knockout round.
Yeah, in the knockout round too. They subbed in the third choice goalkeeper just so everyone can get minutes in it. Hey, that's pretty admirable.
Respect to the coach, man. Yeah, that's family right there.
Yeah, making sure everyone gets minutes in the World Cup. Cameroon.
Expectations.
Yeah, they had a tough group.
Yeah, they're a really tough group.
Good showing because they beat Brazil, even though it's a B squad. The B squad for Brazil should not be beating them. Abubakar showing what he could do.
Actually, yeah.
I was gonna rank them there too.
They had a good showing. Yeah. I can't disagree with that.
They really don't have many expectations to begin with, to be honest. And they definitely went above those.
Yeah, sure. Canada. I don't want to say they performed to expectations and they're not a failure just because they didn't get a point. But I feel like they played really well against Belgium. They were unlucky not to get more.
I want to say a good showing for them.
Yeah, they definitely had a good showing. And you got to remember, this is their first ever major tournament. And I feel like they played a lot better.
They look good.
They could have gotten more, but they look good.
They look really good.
They look good. I don't know, Honda. I feel like
they just got unlucky.
I mean, they got unlucky at the end of the day, but I think it's more of the fact that Morocco did more exceptionally, which we'll get to that later. But
I feel like I'm gonna put them in the good showing category because they did have a good showing.
I say good showing. That's just me. Yeah.
You guys could put them up there. I'm gonna just put performing to expectation because they didn't.
Yeah,
get
I would say performing to expectations as well.
You think so?
there's
But I feel
definitely
like,
a lot
but
of
I, but I,
downs.
but the reason why I'm
But-
putting Canada up here is because Canada played really well. I mean, we didn't really touch on it in the second one. We were talking about most of the national teams, but Canada played really, really well. Like for that being that, they played against a good Belgium side. Unlucky to not get the win there. The next couple games that they played, I mean, they didn't get a point, but they played really, really well. I don't know. Like I think I don't know.
But it was a bunch of nerves.
Mhm.
I mean, it's their first World Cup. Of course, you're gonna have hella nerves. Like, everybody's human, man. You're gonna have
You can
nerves
tell like
playing in a
their
big
best
tournament like that.
players definitely didn't. Jonathan David had like a 1.4 xG and didn't score any goals throughout the
Yeah,
tournament.
he just didn't play well. It like I said, it just comes down to the nerves. Like, you know what you're playing in, and it's kind of like eventually you would think you would get those nerves out of the way after the first game. Because you know there's only 3 games in the group stages. So that first game, you got to be like, all right, we got the nerves out. It's time to play like against like at our top performance. So I don't know. Like that's why I put them at good showing. Like they in their games they play very well.
I just think they got unlucky to not get more.
They
Like,
got
I agree.
unlucky.
The one thing I would agree with you, good showings. I feel like if they Canada's just one of those teams. I feel like if they won that game against Belgium, it's a completely different group, and I think they go.
Yeah, it
around
would have been
the season.
completely.
yeah.
That just flipped their confidence. I think that game, the confidence could just completely shifted from like going with potential, with maybe just surprise the world, to then now being like the bottom of the group. So
That's why I think it's performed to expectation because like it's just one game. It was versus Belgium, and we already seen Belgium how they played afterwards. They were atrocious.
Yeah, but I wouldn't really fault that on Canada. I'd fault that more on Belgium. Like Canada played well. They took advantage of that. And even in the subsequent games after, I think they had a pretty good game against Croatia, if I'm honest. Like I don't think Croatia really. It wasn't until the end when Croatia turned it up, but I don't think Croatia.
Good showing for now.
Then we'll kind of see. Costa Rica, they had the shock against Japan, almost shocking Germany. So I feel like they performed above expectations because everyone was expecting for them to lose all their games.
They did play bad though.
But they played bad because they got trumped by Spain. But I don't think anyone was expecting them to beat Japan.
I would say performed to expectations though. I would say because
that's what I was about to say.
Because they played really bad in some games, but there was a moment, a good 5 seconds in that Germany game, they were going through the knockouts, and if they held that, they would have been through the knockouts. So I think performed expectations for me.
I wouldn't really call them a failure because I don't think they really did.
Not a failure. Perform above expectations. I would say that because I saw them getting 0 points. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I'm gonna change these categories down like this. So, it's a good showing, performed above expectations, performed to expectations. Yeah, we'll change this so this is looking that way. This looks a little bit better. But yeah, I think that's fair for them. Croatia.
Good showing, I think. They're doing it. They're doing it again. Same thing as they did last World Cup.
Thank you for participating. You're about to get eliminated by Brazil.
Yeah.
Showing.
I think you had a good showing, but I think next round is your.
Yeah,
we'll see.
That's their downfall.
Yeah, we'll see you guys later. Denmark.
But hey, you never know. Croatia's
built
they're always a sleeper country.
They're a sleeper team, but they're also on the older side, and I don't think they've shown much.
Yeah,
no disrespect to them, but like they haven't shown much, and I think Brazil's just too much.
It's just too much for them.
Got unlucky except for like 4-1, but the rest they got kind of lucky.
All right, Denmark. Where are we ranking them?
World Cup failure.
You think so?
Definitely.
I was gonna say play the expectation.
I'm gonna say they failed.
That was like a very easy group compared to most groups. So like you got Australia and Tunisia.
I'm gonna say they failed because they could have easily done more. And I know in the Euros they played a lot better. They realistically they should have gone in that. They should have gone through. And they just they could have done a lot more, and I don't think that was what anyone expected for them. So I think World Cup failure is a good spot for them. Ecuador,
Of expectations.
I want to say good showing for them.
they had a good showing. I feel like they were unlucky not to get through. I feel like they were
Yeah.
unlucky not to
Again,
get through.
That group wasn't the strongest, but at the same time, they definitely they gave enough to get through.
They did look good as a solid unit.
I think Ender
think they were
Valencia
the
after the first game.
Valencia, I actually thought he was going to be like top goal scorer at one point. Man, looks good.
He was looking really good.
They were the best team in that group, like team for team.
I think performance wise and like showing wise, I think they were the best team in the group. I just think that Netherlands just obviously had more at their disposal than Ecuador did. England,
I'm saying showing.
to expectations.
Yeah, I'm saying to expectations.
Because
they're still having those games. They're not like blowing through every single game like they should.
That's true.
Yeah, I feel like they could definitely do a lot more. They haven't really been. I don't think they've had a good showing. I don't think they performed above anything. I think that their trouncing against Iran was just it's because it's Iran rather than anything else. So
if they beat
England,
France, it changes. If they beat
France, it changes. But I think for now, I think that's where they
I
at.
was gonna say they really haven't had any.
They haven't had really a challenge.
Tough like a challenge. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, play the expectation sounds good.
France, I think we're putting
Winners.
winners, man.
That's winners.
Bro,
For sure.
Bro, I was worried for France for a second because the whole thing with Mbappe going on, and like having him having like fallouts with like PSG and stuff, and like all like the drama, but then and all the injuries, but then there's just no problem no more.
I heard a rumor. I don't know if it's a rumor, but Benzema was saying that he could return.
Yeah,
But
he's actually like.
But they don't want it back. So I don't
know. They're really saying like they play better without him, and they're saying like when he steps on the pitch, they say they can't build anything up with him. I don't know if that's tactics
they're building up
wise.
with Olivier Giroud though. That's a thing. So
That's what I'm saying. Like
And-
I don't know if
yeah.
that's just tactics wise, because Giroud and Benzema they honestly play the same way in a way. I mean they're both like false nine type strikers. Definitely have the ability to score from anywhere.
And I'll make
And I don't know.
Benzema, Gignac, Giroud in that order. How about that? Thoughts?
Benzema, Gignac, Giroud.
Where the hell is
Gignac. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
bro, man stuck in Gignac like who didn't notice, bro?
This dude's unserious. There's his unserious take for the day. No, but I mean, yeah, I think France is definitely, even with not having Nkunku and even with their amount of injuries that they've had.
They have so many players.
They have that, but they've had so many injuries though too. Like
so many injuries, but they've
had players to replace them.
So many, yeah. Like it's like
They
they
don't even
just
have
keep
Conte
popping up out of
in that
nowhere.
team either, man, too, and they're still
Yeah,
It's crazy.
No
All right,
Pogba either.
Germany.
It's like Germany failure.
Failure.
Hold on.
They
You guys are gonna go
That is
failure.
crazy.
Here's the thing though. Is Germany really that hot like that?
No, but you would expect Germany to be more.
Though it's not
like
just
that.
that.
It's
But
a top
but the
nation.
reason why I put I cast it as a failure is because, like, dude, you get grouped 2 World Cups in a row, and I know this is like 2 completely different teams, but you had players from the past tournament that got grouped as well.
Like,
You
you can't
need
even
to
make
have
the
some
excuse, like the
experience
last
there.
World Cup.
There's
Last World Cup, you can maybe make the excuse, oh, their main key players are past their prime. Our young players are still haven't gotten to it. But now it's like 4 years later. You've replaced those prime players. You have a whole full team chock full of talent. Like,
dude,
they
you
definitely
have
should've gotten much more
Musiala,
out
you have
Sane.
Nabry, you have
Sane.
you have
Havertz.
all this a lot of talent. I know you're missing Warner, and I know Warner it massively performs for Germany, but you have all this. You got Schlotterbeck at center back. You got all this. You got all this talent to your disposal. You can't get out a group that consists of Spain, Japan, and Costa Rica.
I want to tell you this again, right? Like before the World Cup, I mean, my prediction, Japan was going through no matter what. I've done my research, right? Japan, they have serious ballers, and their chemistry, right? That's what they had the previous World Cups. That's the reason why they've made it to the World Cups and stuff like that, right? out with serious ballers like they had right now. Touch on Japan a little bit more as well too, but I could have saw either Spain or Germany getting into that group or getting grouped at the end of the day, and it's like
Yeah, but I just see
failure.
Germany in
I just see
second.
Germany as a failure though.
is it as much as Belgium?
No,
No. But is it bad? Yes.
But
is
it's
bad.
still bad because you're expected to you were at least supposed to get second in that group.
I think there was more potential with Germany with the young talent for sure.
Yeah.
I think there's still stuff to look forward to for the next World Cup because it's still
argue second, third.
team,
Like,
but-
they got 4 points at the end of the day. It was just the difference of goals. Who scored more on Costa Rica?
Pretty much.
Yeah, but Costa Rica, you let Costa Rica slide 2 past you. Also, in that process, at a certain point, you were being knocked out of the World Cup because you didn't get a win. So,
All right, let's go to Ghana.
Ghana.
on trolling capabilities, I would say World Cup winner. The fact that they purposely time wasted against Uruguay to make them lose, that's kind of hilarious. But performed the expectation, honestly.
I think I didn't have much expectation for them.
Yeah, I didn't expect them to do anything, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't really expect them to do much. I think Iran as well performed to expectations. I didn't really expect them to do that much. They could have potentially got a win here. They had a couple ballers on their team, but I didn't really see them. I think Japan had a good showing.
Good showing.
Very good showing in this
And
World
the team's
Cup.
young too. That's a scary team for the next World Cup. That team is young.
I can even say played above expectation because honestly, who really thought Japan was gonna get there that far?
I thought we were gonna get further. Actually,
Yeah, but they had but I think above expectations is just a little bit under good showing because I feel like if you had a good showing,
why they should be.
Japan has a great mix of experience but young talent. Like they have guys like Yoshida have been there before, but also got very very young talent like Kubo. You got Tomoyasu, the whole attack Matoma as well. Like
Ito looked real good.
Yeah.
Matoma was a deadly dude.
They had a really nice squad, and I feel like they definitely have potential for the next couple of years to come. Mexico, we're not even gonna talk about it. It's just a failure.
Put them a failure, bro.
Yeah, actually they're number 1, man. Should put them ahead of Belgium. Morocco.
Great fucking showing.
Yeah,
Great
I mean
showing.
because of the result, Spain, I think we'll rank them above.
I think there is a chance they could get to the semifinal.
Potentially.
The way they're playing and how they play
Potential.
I'm gonna sort
Spain.
these out. So I'm gonna sort out in terms of in their categories, number 1, number 2, number 3. So right now I have good showing for Argentina, Morocco, Japan. I'm gonna put
Morocco above Argentina in
Yeah, I think Morocco's the best one of that group. Definitely.
all right. So Netherlands, I think
down a little bit.
who?
Netherlands.
Above them.
World Cup winner, honestly. Okay. I would say I put them.
I think
As much as I really don't want them to win, I think they
they
probably could be.
I think they performed to expectations though, because I feel like they could have.
Performing to expectations. To be honest with you.
They've been doing the same thing they've been doing for years. Like
They're just taking care of business is the thing, but
yeah, like
they're not wowing anybody, but at the same time, like I feel like this team is much
they're
more
playing how they're
balanced.
supposed to.
I think this team is much more balanced than it was, say, 2014,
Yeah.
2010. In 2014, 2010, they were relying on their big stars.
Give me a 3-0 result versus Argentina, and then maybe they'll go up. But
I think this team is just well built in every area. They got young talent going forward. They got the defender, like Roger Van Dijk, got a very strong defense. They got the lick on the bench. That's how strong their defense has been so far.
Yeah.
So
players like the lick on the bench. Like it's
I
a
feel
very
like
well built team.
They performed to expectations, but they performed better than England. So
Yeah.
all right, Poland. I'm gonna put them to perform to expectations.
I was gonna say expectation.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
that's surprising to see. Yeah, above expectations, but at the same time, they didn't really wow anybody.
They didn't wow anyone, but I don't think anyone else.
They more snuck through because Mexico fell apart.
Yeah, I feel like they had their best showing was definitely against France, and I feel like they had opportunities in that game to get something else out of that game. But I feel like they've done enough to continue.
I'm happy Levo got his World Cup goal. That's what I'm saying.
How do we feel about Portugal? So I feel like Portugal played exceptionally well today. Like really well.
Good showing.
Lose to South Korea though. That's the thing that's
Yeah,
getting
but
me
they
down.
lose to South Korea. But look how they played today, though. Like
They've been
they had
Turn it
5.
up.
It was a party today for them too.
Yeah, I think they definitely with the way that side of the bracket is, there's definitely a chance when they get to the final for sure.
It's in between winner and good showing.
I want
mean,
to
I
say
know
good
Morocco
shot for
did
them.
This is definitely, I think, the best Portugal's.
Would you put them above Morocco
the
though?
best chance they've had for World Cup in a while.
Above Morocco, I mean,
No,
as
no,
far
no.
as play wise, like the way they've been playing, I don't want to say they are because Morocco's been playing out of their freaking mind lately.
I'm
Portugal
gonna
do
keep
tend to-
Morocco at 1.
Yeah, I will keep Morocco at 1.
Qatar World Cup failure. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
first
that's-
host nation in like how many years that.
But I
do
think we all
anything.
expected that. But yeah, that's definitely a failure
But
because
they put all
you
that
should.
money into like improving that team to make it look good.
Yeah.
It just didn't look good.
Saudi Arabia, I feel like they performed to expectations.
I'd say above
Expected,
expectations.
yeah.
No, I mean I wouldn't really put them above because they just had one good game and then they got trounced the next
Beat
2.
Argentina though.
At the same time, they're
Yeah,
like one of the
expect them
lowest
to
ranked
do
countries in the
anything.
team. They're one of the lowest ranked countries in the whole World Cup.
I didn't expect them
So.
to do anything.
Yeah, but they did beat Argentina, but yet again they didn't do shit. So I feel like expectations, they didn't get out the group.
Shots, 2 goals.
Like coming from someone like Ram who's lived and watched them for years, like the best they've ever.
Senegal.
Mm,
I want to
get
say
Would you-
to the knockouts. They
Would
weren't
you
in a
put
strong group.
them?
Above
I was-
expect-
I'd say
Would you put them?
since-
I was gonna say, would you put them above expectation?
I feel
I
like they
would,
played,
because
but
they didn't have Mane.
I feel like the only reason that they performed above
Sorry to say
expectation
this,
was
but
because
look at
Mane
this
wasn't there.
hella unbalanced thing, bro. This hella unbalanced. A whole
What?
bunch and good showing, a whole bunch and performing expectation. I know we still got teams.
I would say definitely above expectation because they got as far as they were expected to get without their best player.
Yeah.
So,
So
Yeah.
I
they
feel like
definitely-
Honestly, yeah. To get that far without Mane, that's actually a very,
and they still had some good
very good thing to
moments in
do.
the first half before it unraveled versus England. So
a very good Ecuador side too. So
yeah,
Serbia.
I would say
Failure.
failure. There's a lot of talent on that team.
There's a lot of talent in that team.
There was a lot of talent in
They
that
got
team.
Vlahovic. They got Mitrovic.
There was definitely a
Milinkovic
lot.
Savic.
of talent in
Milinkovic
that team.
Savage.
Milinkovic, center back. There's a lot.
Yeah,
of talent.
there's a lot of talent in that team. They failed to get out the group stage, and I feel like they could have performed a lot better, especially with the amount of strikers that they have. They didn't show enough. They should have shown more, in my opinion. So I think they're one of the failures in this World Cup. South Korea. I think.
above correct.
Put them above expectation.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
out of nowhere. I would say
Yeah,
they just came out of
just-
nowhere, really.
Just based on the fact that the way that they played against Portugal in that last game, sneaking themselves
Yeah.
into the next round.
But like at one point, like nobody expected them to do anything, and then
Because
out of nowhere, they
Son
stuck
was
with it.
hurt before the tournament, so Son wasn't even
Yeah.
expected to do much. So Son
Yeah.
showed up. So like that also helps. Spain had a good showing. I think they played well. Got
Just couldn't
lucky.
get the job done.
I
Yeah.
would say performed expectations.
I performed to the expectation. They lose to a Japan side and they were in control most of the game, right? This is Costa Rica. Okay, they got the 7-0, but then what happened after that?
Like,
Tie versus Germany. Like we're putting them as a failure. I don't.
like for me,
Ah!
Spain, like it's the same problems that plagued them in the last major tournaments, like the lack of goal scoring output and upfront presence.
Yeah, but they also lost
Yeah,
to
they won
Morocco.
7-0,
So is
but
that a
they came
failure
back.
for them?
Nah,
Losing to Morocco in
feel like,
penalties.
like they got through, they won the group.
That's
but they
not a
expected them
failure.
to-
That's just a 50-50 thing. I mean, Bunu just came to freaking play, man. That in penalties, it shows which team has more heart.
See, yeah, but then the only reason I would put failure is because that Spain team is expected to do more in the regular in the regular playing time.
I was gonna say I wouldn't even put them in playing to expected because that's just nobody like.
Yeah,
You
but in
expect
terms
them
of
to go far.
in terms of their expectations though, their own expectations were to do more than just get past the first. They were expected to get past the first round.
And plus, a lot
Yeah,
of
you
people
know
thought
what?
they would beat
I'm
Morocco.
gonna sneak them here. I don't think they were as big of a failure as like as a Denmark or but I think they're definitely in the range of being a failure. They're
It's
in
just
that.
hard for me to be a failure because I just don't see them having like a
Getting
World
to
Cup
the
winning
next round,
squad.
that's the thing at the end of the day.
I just don't see them have a World Cup winning squad. Yes, they have the potential to win it, but if you look at their team compared to like France and Belgium, there's too many weaknesses to me.
All right, we got fuck, Switzerland. So much stuff to
Switzerland.
forget.
You
So much to
almost forgot
forget.
the country name, bro.
Switzerland. I feel like they've played the expectations.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I agree.
I feel like they played the expectations. Probably in between.
Like they played good, but they also just got destroyed. So
Yeah.
Yeah, Switzerland bad for
everybody like they're not a bad. I wouldn't say they're like a very bad team, but they are a team that has potential. But you got some of the old heads that are still there, like Rodriguez and all of them. But it's just like
Yeah, they got
couldn't
through,
really
but
do anything against Portugal.
They got through, but I feel like that's more of a lack of showing that the group just wasn't, I don't know.
It wasn't
it's
as
kind of like the same
strong.
situation with Poland where they got through because their rival for second place just failed, like Serbia. Like the rival did not show up, so they
Yeah.
just took advantage of that really.
All right. Here's the thing. I'm taking a look at chat, and everybody's saying like, "Oh, what is Argentina doing in the second row?"
These are ranked, by the way, in the
Open
second
your
round.
eyes and see how they're playing. Just
Okay,
telling you this.
yeah. Okay, but we're saying good showing because they did not perform to expectations, nor did they perform above it. They've had a decent showing, but
the fact that Argentina came to the 30-game
winners.
win streak and they're not in the winner is a testament that it's being in the second row isn't a good thing for them necessarily.
Yeah, it's
Like,
you're in
good,
there, but you're not like I feel like Japan has had a better showing than Argentina the whole way through.
Yeah, they show more heart. If I'm being honest.
Tunisia played the expectations. I didn't really expect them to do much.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I
nobody.
know they beat France. I know they beat France, but
Tunisia's
They would say like above expectation because they beat France. But other than that,
Rain would say that was
the
expected.
Look
though.
at the team France played though. Like they played half the team I didn't even know got called up. So
yeah, I mean France is France though. At the end of the day, they're a World Cup winner as well too. Brazil, then you would have to drop down Cameroon as well too.
Yeah.
I'd say perform above expectations for both of those again. But
for who?
Just me, Cameroon and Tunisia.
Yeah. It's like that. It's like but they. I'll put them here. Uruguay. I feel like that. It's a failure, but
I want to say failure.
I want to say failure.
Suarez,
I want to say failure.
Just wash, man.
I think they're definitely more of a failure than Spain.
I want to say failure, and
they're washed, man.
It's
Suarez couldn't do anything.
I
feel
think
bad
we
for
put him.
Valverde.
I think we put him along with these nations right here.
Yeah.
I think
I really feel bad for Valverde though, to be honest.
Like the reason why I say that is because like Uruguay, the reason why they got themselves in that position anyway is because of the way they played in those first two games anyway. Like you expect Uruguay to have more firepower, but honestly they're a lot older. They're a lot older. They're the older side, but with some of their younger talent, like they're to their standards they should be performing a lot better. The U.S. I feel like part of me wants to say they performed above.
I want to say above because people did not expect us to get as far as we did.
Yeah, and then
a lot of people disrespected us, saying
but the reason why I would kind of bump
the only reason did disrespect you guys.
The only reason I would say good showing. The only reason I'd say good showing is because they definitely deserve to get a lot more than what they did.
Yeah,
exactly.
So I want to bump them up here. Just
I would put them either like in top of the good show, above expectations or bottom of the good showing because they definitely left a lot on the table for sure. But
they did.
They definitely.
There's a lot of work we need to do, but they played very well.
But it is a good showing because I feel like there's a lot more things that could happen in the future that would help you guys a lot more, and I feel like this is a good start to something that's easily going to be a lot better in the next couple of years.
And honestly, you can say that. I mean, we just played our hearts out. For real, like nobody really expected us to get that far. Even against England, like everybody thought England was just gonna smack us. And that's as funny as that sounds. It's like we have a lot of young players that play in big clubs now. Like that's why I like the fact that all the U.S. people are starting to play in European clubs, which is great. If you ask any like American fan, they're happy the way we played in this World Cup,
Yeah,
and I'm all for it, man.
I feel
I'm
like
all for it.
you guys played well. Definitely, you guys had more. Like I said, this is it's a start to something that's gonna develop into becoming something better. That this is a good showing for now. If in 2026 you guys can build on this, if you guys now do worse, then there's a different conversation and when we talk about.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think for now it's a good showing for this World Cup.
Right.
Wales.
Expected.
Yeah, expected.
Here's the thing: the
But
Europeans.
here's the thing, though. Like
the next round, I say that's a failure just because of everybody expecting them making it to the next round.
here's the thing. I want to say failure, and because I feel like they could have gotten more out of that U.S. game. Personally, for me, I think, just in general how they played, or against Iran, you don't win. You needed to win. You don't win. I just don't see that where that could be an expectation because I think everyone is expecting them.
But at the same point, it's hard to put them above like. It's hard to say they play bad because the talent level they just were not on the levels of the other teams that were there.
Yeah, but you would expect them to have better talent level than Iran.
That's true, but then they had the talent level to finish third in that group, and
they did come in fourth place, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I'm just
true.
gonna say this right now.
That is
For this.
failure.
Why is there only 3 and performed above expectation, and then look at the rest? Okay, I get it. It's kind of balanced, but at the same time, like that's a lot of teams for just that.
The only reason I'm saying like this category is really like it should probably just be like that, but because no one was expecting these teams to play as well as they did.
Yeah, nobody thought that.
So
there's some other teams that we can argue with, but
you can argue between
like that, but
you can argue with Morocco too. But I mean, nobody really expected Morocco to play great top of the group.
That's why you didn't want to touch on it.
Who?
That's just me. Saudi Arabia.
What do you want to touch on Saudi Arabia?
Like legit, they performed above like expectations at the end of the day. Even Saudi Arabians didn't think they were going to get a point out of the group. They got 3 points.
Honestly, beating Argentina is a big thing.
I think that's above expectation for me.
But after that, it's just like, bro,
yeah. But after that, you go
after
and you
that,
get trounced.
Like,
you get
what
trounced.
the hell did they do after?
Yeah, you get trounced. I don't know.
What was expected? They were expected to lose to Poland and to Mexico. Like,
I guess you can have a debate there whether you want to bring them up.
If there was like another like middle section.
Yeah, I think we need to have a middle category for this thing to work, but
like it's like 50-50 for like both sides, you know.
Nah, I'm gonna just say expectation, but on the lower end, like on the higher end of expectations. We'll do that, like on the highest end. I think these guys in the chat are being heavily unserious right now, especially one guy that I'm looking at right now that should be here. Especially one guy that should be here that isn't here, but yeah, I think
we don't need him.
I think for the last just segment, I just wanted to get your final thoughts in this next round. Who is your World Cup winner out of everyone that is left? Who do you guys got winning the whole thing? I got Brazil. I think Brazil's been playing fantastic. I think just the way they've been moving, the way that they move the ball, just in general, I think the spirit of the team, I think is exceptional. I think that France is the team to beat going or heading forward into the tournament. Honda, your thoughts?
Said it since the beginning. I've said it since the last World Cup ended. Though they didn't look solid the last World Cup, they were gonna work on it. Brazil's gonna win this World Cup, and gonna do it in fashion as well too.
All right, Jordan, who you got?
So I got like two sides. One of them is Brazil because I just like to see all the young players that on. Of course, me being Real Madrid bias, I like to see Vinny get a World Cup, Rodrigo to get a World Cup, all the youngins to get like something under the belt. Like I'm right there with France too, but I'm not really going for them. Like I would love to see Camavinga get a World Cup under his belt as well. It would be nice. Chouameni as well. It'll be nice.
Neymar
But
and Ronaldinho combos, they have to be top
I'm
this if
yeah
they win.
for real. But I'm not gonna go for France because that's always expected. But I want to say Portugal because I just want to see my boy Ronaldo finally get a World Cup, man. I just see him retire with a World Cup under his belt. It would be great. But those are my top two: Brazil or Portugal, man. Just one of those. Not Dutch because they took the U.S. out, but
For me, it's the winner of the obviously. Well, my FIFA inside of me wants France to win because I have Griezmann untradeable. But going beyond that, it's I think the winner of that Dutch Brazil game. I think it's gonna be Dutch Brazil in the semifinal. And the winner of that game is really, I think.
Oh, so you got Argentina getting knocked out?
Yeah, I just think the Netherlands is a trap game for Argentina, and I always saw the Netherlands as a sleeper team coming into this tournament, and that game will decide like where these teams are at this deep in the tournament. Can the Netherlands pull off what they did against the US against the big team? And if they do, then they can beat anybody. And if can Brazil get over that hump, that team that's going to sit back and expose their mistakes if they make any mistakes? Can
Right.
Brazil play to the perfection basically, and play around the way the Dutch wants to play? So I feel like it's going to be the winner of that semifinal game is going to win it all. I want to say Netherlands because I want to see a new team win, but the way Brazil's playing, it's hard to go against them. So I will say Brazil, but it's going to be whoever wins that game. I think it's definitely going to want to lift the trophy.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you there. All right, so I think that's gonna do it for us on the podcast because we got a couple of exciting things to talk about as far as a footy summer goes. There's a lot of things that we need to take care of ourselves. So we're gonna be heading off, and there's a lot of exciting news coming up. So we're really hopeful. But yeah, as soon as that also releases, also by the way, everyone that's in the podcast right now, is also taking part into building up a footy summer. So we're all gonna head out. But thank you guys for listening. Appreciate you guys, and we'll hopefully we have a podcast out by I want to say Sunday. I want to have something out. Just so that we know what.
Subscribe, turn on the notification bell down below, comment down below. We want to get Compa Talk rolling.
Yeah.
Going.
Yeah, and also we're gonna link a petition down below to get Matthias back onto the podcast. He's being very unserious. He doesn't want to do it anymore because Mexico's failures.
Your honorary compas.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me on.
All right.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and Jordan, thank you so much for taking part of the out of your day to being part of the podcast. And if you guys want to come on and we can talk about other topics and stuff like that, we're always willing to have you both back. But yeah, as of now, see you guys later. You guys take care.